Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today we'll be breaking down the New York Jets loss to the San Francisco 49ers in Week 2. Before we get started, just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. You can also subscribe to the podcast that drops every Wednesday now. Call in, vent to me, leave me your question, whatever you got to do. Numbers right here. Give me a call. I'll try to get to you on the show. Also, you can subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Matt O'Leary NY. Different subscriptions get you different things. There's articles, podcasts, pregame live streams, a whole bunch of fun stuff going on over there. So definitely worthwhile to check out if you are interested. So let's jump right into today's video because God, what a disgrace. The New York Jets get blown out in their home opener, and first play of the game, Mostert goes on an 80-yard touchdown run. It was a pitch to the right-hand side. The Jets had no interest in tackling, could not set the edge. Alex Ogletree looked atrocious trying to get to the football, and that set the tone for the entire game. That was the direction that this game was going. The Jets get the ball, and they actually move it a little bit in their response. They get to around the 50-yard line, and then 3rd and 3, they run for no gain. The Adam Gase's use of Frank Gore is just mind-numbing. We'll get to more of that later. And then they decide to punt. So you're down 7-0. It's 4th and less than 5 on the other side of the 50, and you're punting? Losing football. That is how you lose by 30 at home. Adam Gase, first of many bad decisions. 49ers get the ball back. Quinnen Williams comes up with a big sack on 3rd down. Nice play from Quinnen. I thought he had a really good game, a nice bounce back game, which was desperately needed for the young Jets interior defensive linemen. The Jets would get the ball back after that. They would move it relatively well, and then the drive would stall. So 7-3, they kick a field goal. Ficken makes it a 4-point game. At the end of the first quarter is 7-3 49ers. Jets settle in a little bit, but then they give up a massive drive to where Jordan Reed, yes, Jordan Reed, who has been concussed a million times in the NFL, still playing somehow, it's not 2015, scores his first touchdown of the day and makes it 14-3. So the Jets get the ball, and again, they're moving it. They're looking okay in the first half. Not anything great, but they're moving it down the field. They would decide to go for it inside. Like, obviously you could have kicked a field goal, but they needed a touchdown, so they decided to go to it. I'm okay with going for it, but the play call was really bad. On 3rd and short, they run with Frank Gore, and then on 4th and short, they run right up the middle with Josh Adams, who has had 0 touches in the game at this point. What the hell is Gase doing? On one of those plays, you don't run a play action and roll Darnold out. It makes 0 sense. They were pounding the rock in the middle of that offensive line all game long, and they only ran I want to say 2 play action fakes. They barely used it, and that would have been a prime spot to do it on third down. I would have ran it, and then if it didn't work, then you run Gore or Darnold over the right side of the line. Just take a step over and dive forward for the yard. I just really don't understand what was happening here. The 49ers would march right down the field, and again, for the second time in the first half, it was Jordan Reed playing like 2015 with the Washington, then Redskins, now the Washington football team. They're up 21-3 at the half. At this part, I didn't think Darnold was playing that bad, and I still don't think he played that bad today. Yes, it was all short stuff, but he was executing the game plan. That's what Adam Gase wanted to do. He wanted to do short, intermediate passes, and that's what they did all game long. Nick Mullins would come in to replace Jimmy Garoppolo in the second half. There were a ton of injuries in the first half. Solomon Thomas left. Nick Bosa left. They were already out without Kittle. They were also out with Sherman, and it didn't seem to matter. Yes, the Jets got banged up. At one point, they were down to 2 healthy wide receivers. Hogan left but came back. You were using Malone and Braxton Berrios out there for a small period of time. And also, for some reason, very rarely tried to get the ball to the tight ends. Chris Herndon did not have a good day. More on that later. And Ryan Griffin touched the ball once and was called back for offensive pass interference. But the Jets would go 3 and out on their first possession outside of the half. Jets D gives up a 3rd and 31 conversion on a run play. 3rd and 31 to Nick Mullins. You know a run is coming. What the hell was Greg Williams' defense doing today? They were awful. I thought they would regress this year, but I didn't think it would be this bad. They can't stop anybody. So they'd settle for a field goal. Jets offense didn't do a whole lot, and Nick Mullins would get picked off by Pierre Desir, who would come in and replace an injured Quincy Wilson. The Jets start in amazing field position. There should be easy points. Herndon drops a touchdown pass. Like, Sam Darnold made a really nice play to roll out to the right and try to hit Herndon in the corner of the end zone, kind of similar to the Jamison Crowder play last year in Baltimore, the same kind of throw. And he put it right in his chest and he dropped it. It was an easy completion. Yes, it's a tough play, but in the NFL, you have to make that play. I don't care. Chris Herndon has to come up with that football. Instead of going for it on fourth down, Gase settles for a field goal down by 21 points. Are you kidding me? What is the point? He was playing give-up football the entire game, but there is a perfect example of it. Adam Gase was not trying to win today. He wasn't. If you are trying to win, you got to move the tempo. It was laughable. If you were to meme what an Adam Gase game would be, it would be exactly this. You'd be down by 20, still dinking and dunking your way down the field, still running the ball with Frank Gore for 2 yards on first down. It's inexcusable. McKinnon, who hasn't really played a game in seemingly forever, ran for a 16-yard touchdown to make it 31-6. And then Sam Darnold made a really nice play at the end of the game. He would get some garbage time stats up there, but Darnold extends the play, somehow escapes the rush, rolls to his left, and hits Braxton Berrios for a deep touchdown to make it 31-13. But that would be all she wrote, a 31-13 game. Offense did not do nearly enough. The play calling was really, really bad, and Greg Williams' defense was also really, really bad. So the Jets dropped to 0-2. My biggest takeaway, Adam Gase is as awful as we all said that he was. He shouldn't have been hired to begin with. He is now 7-11 as a New York Jets head coach. His offenses have been atrocious in each one of these 18 games that he's coached. The offensive game plan is so mind-numbing. Again, I thought that Darnold didn't play all that bad. He was 21-32, 65.6 completion percentage, 179 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, a 90.5 rating, and they would not trust him to throw the ball down the field. And a few times when they did, it ended up working out, but everything was at the line of scrimmage. There were a million runs. 21 carries for Frank Gore at 37 years old. 21? I understand Le'Veon Bell was out, but you can't meme that better. We were all talking about in the summer when they signed Frank Gore that there's going to be one of those games where Frank Gore gets a god-awful amount of carries, and this was a day. 60 yards on 21 carries for 3.0 yards per attempt is not good enough. He was okay at times, but there's no reason for him to get 21 carries in the NFL anymore. That's not the case. Sam Darnold should have been throwing the ball 40 times today. At least 40 times. And especially when you were down in the game, how you're not trying to move the ball or push the ball at all is beyond frustrating. The 49ers were without Jimmy G for half the game. Nick Bosa left in the first. Solomon Thomas left. Kittle was out. Sherman was out. And it didn't matter. They still lost 31-13. I feel awful for Sam Darnold because he has been given no shot. The wide receivers were bad. Rashad Perryman left with an injury. Chris Hogan left and came back with an injury. For a chunk of the game, his 2 receivers were Malone and Braxton Berrios. That is not set up for success. This is the worst coach in football. This might be the worst team in football. It's really rough. It's not going to get any easier. Their week 3 matchup is coming up against the Indianapolis Colts. We're coming off a nice win against Minnesota. Talk more about that as the week goes on. But let me know in the comments what you thought about today's game, how much of a disgrace it was. Can the Jets fire Adam Gase already? What do we have to do? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm Matt O'Leary. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here, and I'll talk to you next time.
Wait.